This video is proudly brought to you by Hovatek. Hovatek. Just a button away.
In this video tutorial, I'll be explaining how to fix an MTK Android phone with an inverted screen like you have in this picture here or in this screenshot. Now this guide also applies to when you have the text showing from the right to the left, like you're reading Arabic. You understand? Now this is often caused by a build.prop misconfiguration. The build.prop is a configuration file in the system partition of your phone. So when this file gets corrupted or misconfigured, you have issues like this. I will be explaining three techniques which you can use, starting from the easiest to the not really difficult, or not really the most difficult one, but most technical one. Let me put it that way. So there are three techniques I'll be showing you here. The first one is using ROM toolbox to edit your build.prop. The second method would be using ADB to extract or to pull your build.prop, edit on your PC, then push back to the phone. And the third method is using SP flash tool to flash the system partition from a ROM or a stock backup or firmware which is confirmed to be okay. So the first method is build.prop. Now with the phone inverted this way, what you want to do is somehow find a way to install ROM toolbox Lite. You can transfer the APK to your SD card, or you can navigate to Play Store, download ROM toolbox Lite, and then launch it. Now since the phone is showing upside down, that is not going to be an easy task, because you practically have to turn your phone upside down and kind of think in reverse. You understand? So that might not be an easy approach per se, but it's the easiest of the three. So I've already installed ROM toolbox Lite on this phone to save the time of yes, so to save time I've installed ROM toolbox Lite. So what I will do is to navigate to, okay, that's my ROM toolbox Lite up there, but in actual sense it is down there. It's down, it's supposed to be down here, but you can see it's up there and everything is upside down. So I launch my ROM toolbox Lite. Now you scroll down and you notice that the gestures are normal. When you slide your finger down, the page actually scrolls down. You understand? It's not like you have to scroll up to slide down. You understand? It's the gestures are still remain. The gestures remain the same. Sorry. So what you want to do is to click root browser here, and then you slide down to system. Now as I told you, the build.prop is a configuration file in your system partition, so that's the build.prop up there. Now I'm thinking in reverse, and then you want to, what I did was to tap that build.prop. So I have list of applications which I can use to edit the file. I think I'll just go with this RB text editor. Yeah, I'm reading upside down. Okay, now what you'd want to do is to scroll down, and you could turn your phone upside down. That could kind of help with reading, you understand? So you want to locate this setting, row, here it is, row.sf.hw rotation. This is it, ro.sf.hw rotation. This is what you want to locate. Now you can see it's set to 180 here. So what you want to do is to set it to 0. So I will just tap 180 here. So I should have an option to edit it. So what you want to do is to delete. Okay, so once I have it set to 0, I just tap save. The save icon is this, this diskette icon at the top. You just tap that. I'm not doing quite bad for an upside down phone. Okay. Not doing so bad. Okay, so I've edited that already, and I'll just tap save again to confirm. So the next thing you want to do is to reboot the phone, and I'll just hold down the power button. I'll get the reboot prompt. I just select reboot, and yes, okay, rather. You can see even the Techno is upside down. Alright, I'll just wait for the phone to come up again. Alright, you can see the icon. The boot animation is straight, it's normal, so that looks good. Standing by for a connection to confirm that everything is in order. Okay, alright, so everything is back to normal. So that's that for the boot.prop method. So the next method I'll be taking you through is the ADB method. Now let me take this back so you know what we are doing. Root browser, system, build prop. So I could just return this to 180 row.sf.hw rotation. I could just revert it to 180 reboot, and I would have the upside down screen again, but I don't think I have to do that. So another method you could use is, okay, you know what, let me change it, because I need you to see the second method in action. I need to see the second method in action. So let me reboot. Alright, so the second method is the ADB method. For the second method, I'm going to be using ADB to extract or to pull the build.prop file, and then I'll edit the file on my PC, and then I'll push the file back to the phone. Now for the ADB method, you need to install your ADB on your PC. After installing ADB, you need to do any configurations that needs to be done, and I think I'll just take you briefly through the ADB guide. Now to install ADB, you could use the ADB installer. There's a very simple installer which you could use. Let me hold on while this comes up. You could use a pretty simple installer. I'm standing by for the screenshot. Okay, so I'm going to have something like this, of course. Yeah, I'm going to have something like this, of course. Do I have to adjust the size? Okay, I think the size looks fine. Okay, I forgot to copy the ADB installer, so let me copy that quickly. Come back here. Okay, so I'm going to install ADB normally, that is using the installer. Then I'll just double tap with the PDA method. Now the reason why I'm going to install PDA.net is just because some people complain of ADB still not working after they use this ADB setup method. So PDA.net is just more like a double tap to be sure that everything is covered. You have your empty drivers properly installed. So I'll start with the ADB setup. I'm using the ADB method, don't forget. So I double tap the ADB setup. Yes. Let me drag this here. Okay, so I have. Alright, so do you want to install ADB and fast boot? Yes. I tap Y, press enter. Install ADB system wide. Yes, I want every user to have access to ADB. Installing ADB and fast boot. You want to install device drivers? Yes. Next. Finish. Okay, so with that done, I normally should be able to use my ADB, but just to be sure, you are going to use the PDA net method. Sorry, this is optional as I earlier mentioned, but you could just use that to double tap. So to install using the PDA net method, let me give you. Okay. So to install using the PDA net method, you need USB debugging enabled on the phone, and then the phone connected to the PC. Okay, so I'm just going to enable USB debugging on this phone. That is under settings, scroll to about, sorry, developer options, settings, developer options. Now you can see I have USB debugging enabled. This is it, upside down though. USB debugging is enabled. So with that enabled, I can proceed with PDAnet. So I just double tap PDAnet here, yes, to confirm. Next, accept, next, next, installing. Okay, let's have this fellow here. Okay, I did install PDNet on this PC, but I'm just going through this again. Okay, so I have PDNet installed, so everything is good. Okay, I need to exit PDNet to avoid any clash. So this is PDNet. I'm going to exit it to avoid any clash. Okay, so I have ADB set up. So what you just want to do is to go to locate the ADB folder. I copied the ADB folder here to make it easy to locate. So just open the ADB folder. Now to launch ADB, you don't double click. No, that's not what you do. You hold down your shift key or your shift button on the laptop. Now while holding down shift, you right click on any empty space as I've done. Then you select open command window here. Then you can release shift. So I have ADB. Okay, still with the phone upside down here. So this is what you are going to do. Now the first thing you want to do is to extract the build.prop, and I told you the build.prop is in the system folder. Okay, yes, you also saw that. So I'm going to first extract or pull the build.prop. So to do that, I run this command adb pull system. This is the folder slash the file name dot prop. Okay, okay, so here is the build.prop. This is it. So what I'm going to do now is to edit this fellow with notepad plus plus. Yes, I recommend you use notepad plus plus because regular notepad can be very confusing for something like this. So I'm going to locate my row.sf. It should be under addition now. Okay, yes, here it is row.sf.hw rotation. So you can see it's set to 180. So I'm going to set it to 0. Now I have a red icon showing that this is an unsaved document. So I'm just going to Ctrl S, save. Now with that saved, I can close and minimize. Now so this is my edited build.prop. Now I'm going to push it to the phone. I think I have to. I'm going to push it to the phone. So to push the edited build.prop file to the phone, I first need to mount my system partition. So to do that, I'm going to have adb shell mount. I'm going to mount it as read write. Sorry, mount as read write. Remount slash system. Let me check my command. ADB shell mount, yes. Read write, yes. Remount, yes. Okay. My ADB server seems to be hanging. Okay. Please let me restart my ADB. Okay. ADB devices. To be sure, I have a connection. So ADB shell mount read and write remount system. ADB shell mount, yes. Read write remount system. Okay, yes, I have that mounted. So now I'm going to push the build.prop file from my PC to the system partition of the phone. So to do that, I have ADB push build.prop. Since it is in the same directory as the adb.exe, so I don't have to specify a folder. So I have adb push build.prop space. There's a space between all this. I forgot to mention adb here shell, adb space shell space mount. There's a space between all this. So I have adb shell space push space build.prop space system. I'm copying directly into the system folder. So I have a successful push. Now I'm going to reboot the phone. ADB reboot. Okay, ADB reboot. I expect the phone to reboot any moment from now. Okay, that was a prompt. I have a reboot. Now that is that for the ADB method. Now I'm just standing by for a screenshot to confirm that everything was alright. Okay, so the third method which I'm going to be taking you through is the stock backup or firmware method, in which we are going to flash system.img to the phone using spflash2. Now I already have spflash2 here. Oh dear, I forgot to copy that. spflash2. Okay, I have that somewhere here. I should have that somewhere here. Okay, let me copy that quickly. Here. Okay, I have that. Now what you want to do is to have the MTK backup or the firmware. I already have that in the backups directory. Let me move that here so you see it. So for that, you need, for this particular method, that's the firmware method, you need the firmware, which is this. You need spflash2, which is this, and then you need your MediaTek VCOM drivers, which is this. So the first thing you need to do is to install your MediaTek VCOM drivers, because without your VCOM drivers, spflash2 won't be able to communicate with the phone. So first, if you're using a Windows 8 and above PC, you need to disable driver signature enforcement. That is to allow you install unsigned drivers. So there's a video at our YouTube channel on our website on how to do that. So just check our website or YouTube channel for the guide or video on how to disable driver signature enforcement in Windows 8 and above. But for Windows 7 you don't need to do that. So I've already disabled that to save time. You can check out the video for the steps. Now I'm going to install my MediaTek VCOM drivers manually. So the first thing you want to do for that is to open device manager. Under device manager, I'm going to launch it. Now in device manager, you just highlight, let me drag this down here so you have a good view. Okay, so you just highlight any item, you click on action, add legacy hardware. Next, install the hardware that I manually select from a list. Next, next, click on have disk, click on browse, locate the drivers. You are going to open USB VCOM driver here. So I'm using a Windows 8 PC, so I can use the Windows 7 driver. Alright, just ensure you, if you're using XP or Vista, just select that for yours. But I'm using a Windows 8, I can use a Windows 7. If you're using Windows 7, you can use this also. Now this is very important. This particular file is for the 32-bit PC. This is for the 64-bit PC. I'm using a 64-bit PC, so I'll select this one and open. Okay, you can see this driver is not digitally signed. Next, alright, so the following hardware was installed. Now don't be bothered about this code 10 error. The reason why you're getting this error is because you've installed an unsigned driver, so Windows tends to think it won't work, but it's nothing to worry about. So click finish. Now I have my VCOM drivers installed. I can close this. So the next thing you'd want to do is to open SP Flash 2, right click, run as administrator to avoid permission issues. Yes, come back here. And while SP Flash Shell is coming up, just disconnect the phone from the PC and switch it off. And it's optional to take out the battery. If yours is inbuilt, just find a way to switch off the phone. Okay, so the phone is switched off with the battery inside, and I'll just put that aside. Not yet connected to the PC via the cord. Now you click on scatter loading. You locate the firmware folder here. Okay, here it is. First the flash, then you select the scatter file. Now what you'd want to do is to untick every item except Android, which is your system.img. The reason why you don't have to flash others is because the build.prop is in the system partition, which is this, so there's really no point flashing unneeded partitions. So you tick only Android, and then you set this to download only and click download. Now download should be grayed out, stop should be in green. Now the phone is switched off with the battery inside. I'm going to connect it to the PC via the USB cord and stand by for flashing. That's a port issue. I need to change my USB ports. Excuse me. Okay, for the PMT error, when you get something like this, what you need to do is to format first. Okay, you shouldn't be getting the PMT error, but if you do, it's easy. Just format first. Let me disconnect, format. So this is just like an extra step for me. Normally you should flash your system.img, but for me, I'm getting the PMT, so I'll just have to format. Okay, format was successful. This is kind of an extreme case. So since I formatted, I have to flash all the files, you understand? But if you did not get the PMT error, all you need to do is tick only Android, you understand? but I got PMT and I had to format, so I get to flash all files right here. Okay, download, phone switched off, all selected. I connect. Okay, flashing has begun, and just have to give it some time. Now don't forget what I said, this is just a build prop issue, so if you did not get the PMT error like I got, all you need to do is to untick every other one except your Android and then you flash. But because I got the PMT, and if you get the PMT error, it's simple. You format first the way I did. After formatting, then download only, download, and you should have something like I'm having here. So I'll just stand by for flashing to be complete, and that would be all. Okay, so flashing was successful. I got this prompt. So what I have to do now is just boot up my phone and everything should be back to normal. If your phone is still stuck at logo, it's simple. Just boot into recovery mode and do a factory reset and you should be good to go. So that's how to fix an inverted screen on, or your right to left display on an Android phone.